I will, yeah, I will feel a little bit nervous, and I will think it, what did I say and what things I can say and a lot of things. But now it's better, I can more relax. But and things like it, even I think even really small things like register something online, I will think, oh, it's well, can I have the quality of it, whether they are wrong about it, lot of things. Yeah. So
And so would another word for overthinking be worry?
yeah, but I think even for some exciting things, I will overthink it. Like, what if how happy it will be? Like, just think a lot.
Is that a problem then? If you're overthinking some happy thing, is that a problem?
Yeah, sometimes when the outcome didn't go well, I feel a little bit
Oh, well,
upset.
oh, I see. Yeah, sure. Because then you're developing an expectation that there's nothing that can go wrong, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And that's
yeah.
that's perhaps a slightly different issue. You know, it's like
Oh,
you're just assuming, oh, it's going to go right, and so you just indulge in and knowing it's going to happen for sure, right? And then you get, and if it doesn't, then you get like disappointed or betrayed.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's the problem with expectations. You can have you. Let's look at that first because maybe you've got two separate issues here. Um, the There's negative expectations, but there's also positive expectations. And by expectations, I mean like you just you don't look at the chances it will go the other way. Like with a negative expectation, you don't look at the chances it could go positive. Okay, you just assume it's going to. Well, he's not going to like me, so I'm not even going to tell him, my interest in him, right? Okay,
Yeah.
so the benefit of the negative expectation is it helps you to not feel disappointed. You don't have to take the risk, right? Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
but there is also positive expectations. Oh wow, I'm so looking forward to this, the party next Sunday, and of course then it rains and it gets canceled, and then you feel like upset about it.
Yeah.
So and of course the benefits of the negative expectations is it makes you feel safer. The benefit of the positive, it makes you feel safer too, but also you get another benefit. You get to think about it, like there's an expression in English: you get to count your chickens before they hatch.
Oh,
You know that meaning? Yeah. So I mean, maybe you have 10 eggs. Oh, I'm gonna have 10 little chickens. But most probably a few of them are not going to hatch, and you're just going to have seven or something, and then you'll be disappointed. So you have a habit, which is a type of, it's like a positive expectation for sure it's going to happen. Of course,
uh-huh.
it actually has an additional benefit is you get to just enjoy it and you know it for sure.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Yeah.
but so it's a new habit to okay, you can still think it well, it could happen, it probably can happen, but still there's a risk it won't. You can still enjoy maybe the possibility of it, but it still allow for that, maybe with a deep breath, I'm so scared it won't happen,
Uh-huh.
but acknowledge to yourself it could not happen, and you can
Uh-huh.
still be willing to go for it or even think about it.
Yeah.
Um, um, but that's in the expectation. But the other thing about worrying about overthinking something,
Uh-huh.
um, um, can you give me another example, like a worry type example where you're overthinking
Um, oh, oh, like a really small thing, like if I bought a new books, I will think, oh, whether I will join it and blah, 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 what if, blah, 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 a lot of what if. And yeah, like,
So are you like delaying delaying a decision on whether to buy the book or not? Is that what's happening?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Like,
Yeah. So why do we sometimes it's important to delay decisions because you might, especially if it's a big decision, you might think of something different if you delay a little bit, or maybe there's more information to get,
yeah,
well, or maybe the circumstance might change, and so it makes sense to delay. But a lot of times, it doesn't make any sense. You have all the information you're ever going to have, right?
yeah, yeah,
And also maybe it's even a small decision. Um, so and maybe this way has cost and benefit and risk, and that way has cost and benefit and risk. Like there's no way without cost and benefit and risk.
yeah,
So, um, so logically, at least, it wouldn't make sense. There's no benefit to delay the choice, correct?
yeah, 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 yeah.
But um, but because there is that risk either way, there is the cost either way. You know, it's like we
Uh-huh.
keep maybe hoping there's going to be some way that doesn't involve the cost and the risk, but there is no way. Every way is a choice of courage.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah,
And logically, probably the worst choice is to delay. You know,
huh?
I was actually coaching Heidi on this the other day. She just moved to a new apartment. Okay. And so she needed to clean up the old apartment because she wants to get her deposit back, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So she's thinking, well, maybe I could try to clean it myself, but I don't really like to do that, and it probably won't, maybe won't be good enough to get the deposit back. But but then I can, but then I'll say I could hire a housekeeper, but that costs money, and I'm a little bit tight on money. So she's going back and forth and back and forth.
yeah,
And this is a pattern, she has, all right. And but logically, if she just waits till the last minute, probably she'll be forced into just she'd be forced into choosing the housekeeper anyway. And she has all that uncomfortableness for all the time she's delaying the decision, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So it's very logical that okay, she just make a choice now. That both have cost this way and that way, both have risk this way and that way, and so it's again Maya and pat yourself on the back uh, for choosing courage.
Oh, yeah,
Does that
yeah,
make sense?
yeah, yeah, yeah. And I sort of, remind me my overthinking. It's like when I walking on the street, I would think why this street is, like should be this or like I need to think, I think. I, so sometimes I really admire some people just don't think a lot. Like they just, I don't know, like my cousin sister, they just enjoy now. And so when I ask her, whether she has problem about life, and she said no. But I think I I need. I don't know. I think a lot. I just yeah.
Well, there's a certain truth to that. I remember one time visiting a Chinese countryside, and I was talking to this guy, and I'm very, I mean, he wasn't starving; he had enough to eat, but very what we would call a hard life, simple life, and and even though he had his complaints, in a certain sense, he was very happy, you know, and also he didn't see it, even though he probably had a lot more choices than he thought he had. I would say he's pretty happy. Whereas you and me, we got all these options, and we can think, and we've learned to think well and stuff like that. So there's some truth to that. However, it doesn't have to be that way. I mean, I think a lot, but
Yeah.
almost all my thinking, I love my thinking. I love the way my mind works. I enjoy even watching my thinking, because it's mostly not worry thinking. It's just like considering this, considering that, playing with this problem, playing with that problem. Um, so, you're not going to go. There's no way you're going to go to be your cousin anymore. All right.
Oh,
Like
okay.
I don't think I'd have any choice about that either.
Oh,
So, but think, but don't you enjoy that I mean, when the times when you are thinking a lot, I think a lot of times it's very joyful and interesting thinking you're doing. Isn't that true?
yeah, yeah, but yeah, but before I thinking, but not in you know not that much or not that deep. But when I recently and I think more, and I found there are a lot of problem. I need to think, and so I'm a little bit overwhelming about it. I used to enjoy it, but now just so tired.
So are you saying that now that you think more deeply, you discover there's some problems that maybe were there before, but you didn't even know about before?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I found there are problems every moment. I just I need to think. Oh no, just
So it's like there's an expression in English: ignorance is bliss.
yeah, yeah.
There can be a certain truth to that. I even one time with my girlfriend, I said, look, I really prefer that you not, maybe have sex with another man. But in case you do, please don't let me know about it.
Uh-huh.
So I was actually even asking her to keep me ignorant. Uh, um, but there can be, but you can. I pretty much have an attitude of like I want to know about the quote bad stuff. I mean, I ask people, what do you dislike about you know what, and um, I honor myself for the courage to ask those sort of questions and really be interested. Not and and if I don't take it personally, okay, it's just something. Maybe that I may or may not change that or have access to change that. But it's like to take a certain joy in being willing to just uh, as best I can know and accept reality like it is. Like I'm not trying to hide from reality, and I'm not trying to go out and look at reality unnecessarily. Like I took a lot of effort to stay out of the Vietnam War when I was young. And one of the reasons for that is I just knew if I was faced with the reality of, killing people and them killing me, and like that would just, I mean, I know that stuff goes on, but just no, very bad idea to expose me directly to it. But aside from that sort of thing, it's like, um, what are what are these realities or these problems that you think you have or you're discovering that you're not happy about? Can you give me an example of one of these deep problems that you're not happy about? Or, oh my God, I'm so glad I see this problem. Now I have more possibilities in my life than before. If I never saw the problem, I would never have these possibilities.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah,
I mean, it's good to have better problems. You know?
yeah,
And maybe these
yeah,
deeper problems are actually better problems because, uh, at least in my mind, when you can solve a really deep problem, it actually doesn't solve just one problem. It solves a whole group of problems,
yeah,
because you solved it on a
yeah,
more fundamental level.
yeah, 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 yeah,
And that's why, like I think I've fundamentally sort of solved. I mean, there's a lot of details. The now next problem because I was able to identify the problem on a more fundamental level than I ever saw before. Before I thought, oh, the problem is just somehow making I didn't have these words then. Somehow my next making my now do what my now should do. I thought that was the problem, figuring out how to do that.
yeah,
But
yeah,
then I discovered no, the deeper problem is
mm,
how can now and next both be happy? That's a much better problem than
yeah,
let's blame now. Let's see how we can blame now enough so he'll do the right thing.
yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
give me an example here. What are these deep problems that you're discovering that you don't like, or you think would be better
Oh,
not to know about?
yeah, 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 yeah. I like about life. Like I found myself, some bad habits. Like when I use things, I don't like to put it back to what you know, it is.
Right.
And I like my mom don't think about it when they just unhappy and when she cannot to find it again. But I was thought, what if I put it back and they'll bring a lot of problems and sometimes and I feel because it's not against my old habits and I feel like I will feel like, oh, I know the feeling, just uncomfortable because I need to change my behavior, you know, to solve that problem.
Well, are you saying you weren't aware of the problem of things being sort of messy and difficult to find when you don't put them back, and when you only recently discovered that problem? I'm a little bit confused in this example.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I will notice some problems, which lead some outcome, and I will think about it like whether if what if I change my behavior, what I get and like it, and it because it's a lot. There are a lot of questions like problems like it in my life. I will, and every time I found it, I would just think about it, and and I also think about what if I don't? It's just like it.
Well, let's look at what the word problem means. Problem means that you've noticed that you like something to be one way, and it
Oh,
isn't currently that way. And you evidently think there's some chance that you could possibly take some actions to have it be that way, you know. And uh, if you didn't think there'd be some chance or whatever, then you would probably wouldn't even consider it a problem, you know. I mean, most of us do not consider gravity to be a problem, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But, but if we said, but if we said, well, I really, it would be so great if gravity wasn't here. And I mean, you could take it on as a problem, you know. Or, you know, I have this, you know, goal to live several centuries, you know. So I've got a
Uh-huh.
problem, but I'm not sure how to do that. See, other people don't have that problem because they're not even considering that, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah,
So, and I think that's a good problem to have, but other people don't even consider that great problem to have, you know. And
yeah.
and with the problem of leaving things so messy, you know, you can decide, okay, there's benefits if I decide to put things away, and yeah, it's a new habit to create, and I'll get some benefits from it. But you know, there's many opportunities. I mean, you're never gonna be able to have fun with all the problems. You know, what did it do? Come on back, okay. Anyway, uh, so you know, uh, these problems are all just things to have fun with, you know, and you can never do them all anyway. So okay, do I would I like to have fun with playing a game of
Oh,
changing the habit to put things away, and I get certain benefits from that. And if you're gentle with yourself, like there's nothing wrong with leaving things out and messy, you know,
oh,
it's just a certain cost in doing that and benefits. I mean, there's cost and benefits both ways, you know.
yeah, mm, yeah,
um,
yeah,
what do you think? Feedback, comments?
yeah, 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 yeah. I can. Oh, I just found a new way to deal with my problem now. Yeah, just yeah, yeah, yeah. Like the, the, yeah.
Yeah, and it's in a to a large extent, it's not a problem unless you just say, "Oh, this is a problem I like to have fun with." You know, I mean, you can just you know, problems are just something we declare as problems. You know, you could somebody could have cancer and it wouldn't be a problem for them. You know,
Yeah, I,
yeah, or it's like what you there we have a lot of access to decide what's a problem that we'd like to work on or not, you know, or think there's a chance of working on and having fun with working on and
yeah,
making some a dent in.
yeah. I used to think, every problem need to be solved. So I worry. But now I know I don't need to
Yeah,
solve
it's
it
not.
all.
I'll give you another quick example of this. When I lived in Kunming, I had that exercise room and I had that bouncing thing that I would bounce on. And when I go in there and bounce, there was this corner of the room that was messy with some stuff, you know, and I'd notice
Oh,
it and I would think, oh, I really would need to clean that up and get it organized or whatever. And but I don't know when we're gonna find time for that or whatever, you know, like and so it always felt a little bit, you know. But then I had I had a shift at a certain point, and at that point, when I went in the room and I saw that messy stuff in the corner, I I felt, oh my God, you know, in case I run out of other interesting things to do, I still have that left to do if I wanted to. You know? Like,
oh
like
yeah.
you know, it's just um, and most problem, and it never. By the way, it never got organized. You know, but it just it didn't occur for me as something that I have to do, need to do, should do. You know, it's just another opportunity in life to do something and right and then and probably forever. That opportunity would get unfulfilled, right?
Yeah, yeah,
It's okay.
yeah, yeah,
Right?
yeah.
And that's how it is because there's an infinite number of problems. I mean, you I can point out many, many more problems that you don't even think you have. I mean, uh, so problems are the buffet of life, and you get to choose. And maybe it
Yeah.
might be good to choose some over the other because I mean, if you choose, say, the problem of being healthier or getting healthier, then you're going to get maybe some more benefits out of that than if you choose the problem of how to bend a paperclip a different way.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah. 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 I I I feel more relaxed now, about the problem.
Yeah. All right. Just finish that up. Second here.